What's going on, guys? Shay5969, and tonight I wanted to talk to you guys about a few different models of the same model. I know that makes a lot of sense, but bear with me. Right here we got from CRKT 3 different versions of the Squid. We have the Squid Compact, the manual, the assisted, and then over here we got the Squid XM, which is also assisted, but it's the bigger brother of the two, right? So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, as I said, they're all Lucas Burnley designs from CRKT. They're all frame locks. They all open via thumb stud or flipper tab. So, we'll start with the manual first. Oh. There we go. A nice drop point blade. And this one is actually in 2490 KS. You can see right there, Burnley Designs. Burnley. Yeah, Lucas Burnley. I always think I'm saying his name wrong. But yeah, so it comes in at a 1.75 inch blade length with a 4.05 inch overall knife. You can get a good 3-finger grip on there, real nice. Kind of hard to choke up, but it does have some good jimping up top there. Nice frame lock. It does have a titanium look, but it is not titanium. It's actually a stainless steel frame lock. But the frame lock feels really solid and has really good lockup. Feels real secure in the hand. Solid pocket clip, tip down carry. Easy to get in and out of the pocket. Got some relief cuts on the lock bar. Make it pretty easy to push out of the way. They are surprised. I was kind of surprised. I didn't know they were all on. They all run on IKBS ball bearings in their pivots. The automatics and the manuals. So, kind of a smaller knife overall. They say it weighs about 3 to 4 ounces depending on which version you get. The big one is 3.6 ounces, so I guess it would just depend on what material you get your scales and stuff like that. This one's probably on the heavier side, closer to the 4 ounce weight. And then here we have the exact same knife, right? But it has the assisted opening mechanism on it. This is in 2493. Unless that's just like a serial, maybe. Not sure. And again, I use my stuff, as you can see. These two are on loan to me from my buddy. And actually, this one right here was a gift to me from one of my best friend, Gabe. One of my best friends, Gabe, he gifted me this. And I'm normally not a big fan of small knives, but this one feels so solid in the hand that I totally don't mind it at all. It doesn't really give you a hot spot because of where you grip it. It kind of puts that pocket clip right in between your fingers comfortably. For me, it's not a hot spot. It might be for somebody else, depending on your hand size and where it falls naturally in your hand. But for me, it's not bad at all. But yeah, so these two are on loan to me, but I just wanted to compare all three, since they are all three technically the same knife, right? So these two, the measurements are the same. This also has the 1.75 inch drop point blade, 4.05 inches overall. Again, this one is closer to the 4-ounce weight marker. And again, these are solid 3-finger knives, right? Don't go into it expecting to get a big knife, because it's not. But if you wanted to step up, I think this is ultimately the perfect size for EDC. Not too big, not too small, relative to the size of the Penguin. So yeah, this is about relative size to the Penguin, the Squid XM is, compared to the compacts, right? So you get about a good 4-finger grip. Now again, I wear a large glove, so bear in mind it might be different for you. If you have a smaller hand, this might be a little bigger for you. Again, it has that good jimping. Has that nice drop point blade, rounded off quite nicely. 24.95K. Yeah, so basically I was reading up and it said they're either going to be in 8CR13 MOV, they're in D2, or they're in high carbon blade steels. So I guess these would be the high carbon blade steel versions, as opposed to the D2. But yeah, really good action on that those assisted ones, man. That really flies out of there with some good force to it. And you can do it with the thumb studs too. You get a good 4-finger grip, fall right into that spot naturally with some good jimping up there. The difference in size, so this is a 7-inch overall blade, a 7-inch overall knife with a blade length of 2.95 inches, with a weight of 3.6 ounces, because the one side is that carbon fiber. Carbon fiber, maybe a little faux carbon fiber, FRN, plasticky material. But it does feel really good, and it is nice and lightweight. And it's funny because I think that this weighs, man, just about the same, if not a little bit more than this one, and it's considerably larger. But yeah, that one side being the stainless scale and the other being FRN faux carbon fiber makes it way lighter. And you still get a good size. So I said it was about the same size as the QSB Penguin. So I got a couple blades over here. We'll do a little size comparison. But again, so you have the Squid XM, and this one runs in the $60 ballpark, right? Pretty readily available. You're not probably going to find it sold out. These are more towards the budget side, right? So it's not going to be like sold out hot items that nobody can find. These are very readily available, whether you get them from Blade HQ, whether you get them from like Smoky Mountain Knife Works, whether you get them from some other online retailer. You shouldn't have a problem. You probably even find these ones on Amazon, actually. You shouldn't have a problem finding any of these 3 models. It's not like this is harder to get than this. It's not like that's harder to get than that. These are all readily available and easy to find blades from CRKT. And these are all great blades that if somebody's really not into the EDC life, or really doesn't care about carrying a knife or anything like that, and you give them something like this, then this is totally one of those things that could draw somebody into the knife world. These are great knives. They feel super, super sturdy and hefty in hand. Really good action on the automatics. Really smooth action on the manual even. I know you saw me fail to flick it a couple times, but I'm used to carrying big knives, so sometimes I get a little fat fingered in there. But what I mean by that is I'll miss the thumb stud and stuff like that. But they are all on IKBS bearings, and so they all do have really good action. Like I said, some of them are assisted, some are not. They all come in that nice black stone wash finish. I really, really like that finish from CRKT. It does not show wear like you think it would. Granted, it's not a DLC or a diamond-like carbon coating, so it's not probably gonna hold up to the beating that something like that would, right? But that's also, you know, that kind of blade coating is significantly a step up in price. But for what this is, you're not going to scrape it up like you were cutting on some sandpaper or grip tape or anything like that, right? So great fit and finish from CRKT. Great design from Lucas Burnley. He has some awesome designs, man, from all over the knife world. Great guy to check out and totally cool designs. So let's do some size comparisons real quick. So we got the XM, and then we got the compact squids. So let's go ahead, put it up against our QSB Penguin. Now see, I said it was about the same size, and I was pretty spot on with that. Let's go ahead and set them down so you can see a little better. Yeah, so you can see how much smaller that compact really is than the XM. And then again, Penguin versus the compact, Penguin versus the XM. These two are about dang near the same size, but the compact is quite a significant step down where you only really get that 3-finger grip. I do like the incorporation of the glass breakers on there as well. Both have pretty cool ones, I think. And then over here I got a CJRB Droma to compare it to size-wise. Just a hair bigger than the XM. Yeah. So you can see that size-wise, it's a pretty good size EDC, the XM. And again, if you have smaller hands or you like EDCing smaller blades, then the Squid Compacts will do you just fine. I think that a lot of that just comes down to personal preference. Here's a big old SOCOM to compare it to for fun. Now, SOCOM is a 9.11 inch knife overall, so that's a big knife. So you can see where it stacks up size-wise versus those. But yeah, awesome design from Lucas Burnley and CRKT. Great budget offering. You can get the compacts, 35, 36 bucks. They're not going to be hard to find. They're not going to be sold out. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. You get a great offering from a great company. Colorado River Knife and Tool has been around for a really long time, and they make a lot of good stuff. Whether you're checking out a Squid or you're checking out one of their many other legendary designs, There's a reason that everybody loves CRKT, and I think that it's definitely one of those brands that over the years has totally held up and totally made really great knives for a really great affordable price. And if you're a fan of budget knives and you don't have a squid in your collection, it's definitely worth picking one up. Like I said, the compacts will run you about $35, and the XM will run you about $60 or so. I've seen some for $65, and I've seen some for $55. I guess it just would depend on your scale material, right? Like if you get a fancier color, they usually go up in price a little bit, a few dollars, maybe $5-10, and things like that. So yeah, if you're looking for a reliable budget pocket knife from a trusted manufacturer that's not something you see every day, check out a CRKT. Check out a design from Lucas Burnley. You can't go wrong. Whether you get an assisted or you get a manual CRKT Squid. Can't go wrong, guys. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.